Hi, we are Group Henderson 2. Our section is located here in the green boundary, and that is in Henderson, Las Vegas, Nevada. Our area had one main park, Wells Park, and the Henderson bird viewing area. There were multiple green spaces present, however most were in gated communities or inside apartment complexes and had no required equipment to qualify as a park. Wells Park is located in a residential area next to Eden F. Hinman Elementary School. There is a Boys and Girls Club where children can walk to after school. The park is located in a very walkable and well-kept area. There is minimal trash and vandalism and consists of a baseball field, children's playground, pool, splash pad, community center, fitness equipment, foursquare area, skate area, and a grassy and shaded areas. There are several shaded picnic areas that all have barbecues. The park is a decent size and in the center of many homes and apartment complexes. There were no major roads or intersections surrounding it, making it safe and accessible for anyone living nearby. The park was very well kept. However, park signage did have vandalism and graffiti. Many of the drinking fountains were not working, and although there were several people walking their dogs, many of the pet waste disposal sites did not have bags. Basketball courts were in good condition. The paint was a bit worn off on boundary lines, but was still clearly visible. Playing a game would be possible as the hoops all had working nets. The area had several lights and benches. If playing in teams, these benches were located in the shade. There was working water fountains in close proximity to the courts, as well as trash cans and trash disposal. It was a quiet neighborhood. Most noise was coming from airplanes flying overhead. The woman's restroom was dirty. There was no running water in the sink and no doors on the stalls. The toilets were working, although the mirrors were obscure and could not really be used. Pool area was closed, however from the outside, it was clean and well kept. There was a pool slide that seemed to be in good condition. There was also a structure that most likely had changing rooms and bathrooms located within the facility. The splash pad was currently not available for use, although there was signs informing people of the months and hours of availability. It was a decent size and had benches nearby for parents to watch their kids while they played. The Henderson Bird Viewing Preserve is located off of Galleria Drive, which is one of the main roads found in the community. The preserve is hidden from the main road and hard to locate if you were not aware it was there. There are several small signs featured on Galleria Drive that point to where the preserve is located. The preserve is free to all who would like to visit, and the community center provides information on native wildlife to this area. The preserve focused on creating a natural habitat for native birds, plants, and animals to live. Trails featured peaceful landscaping, and there were many benches seen throughout the preserve, and all seemed to be in good shape. They are typically placed to allow people to sit and enjoy the views of surrounding areas. It featured few trash bins, and very little trash seen throughout the area. The trails were in decent condition. There were cracks along the road throughout the trail, although none of these cracks made a large impact which would affect walkability. One large gap was found, which could be a safety concern for those walking on this trail. Being that the focus of the preserve is walking, it would be important to have this gap fixed. That would also allow more comfortable and safe walking conditions for trail users. Not all of the trails in the preserve contained a paved trail. Some had dirt roads. The dirt roads were evenly paved, so using them would not cause injury. Paving these dirt roads would allow for easier access to the preserve. The dirt trails seemed to have less maintained signage as well. The signage was damaged by the sun and hard to read, but none of the signs showed vandalism or graffiti, although they would need to be replaced to allow better reading. The preserve contained only two small areas of seated shade, but were all well maintained. The structure on the left seemed relatively new and looked out to a view. The shaded bench on the left contains a bulletin board with various amounts of environmental information. More areas throughout the park should contain these shaded seated areas. Overall, the preserve provides peaceful trails with views of animals in their natural habitat. The preserve is well maintained with little to no incivilities. With some minor changes such as paving the trails, adding more shaded areas, and providing more signage to the preserve would allow and inform more people in the community about the preserve's location and amenities. Our area contained no major grocery stores. There were 2 convenience stores, a Circle K and City Express, and one general store, Pittman General.
This is a small local convenience store located on the corner of Sunset and Boulder Highway. Its hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday hours are from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. All of the Frost items are available with the exception of fresh fish fillet, frozen fruits, and skim milk. Bread, rice, and pasta were available, but were not high in fiber. The only fresh vegetables carried were tomatoes, onions, limes, and lemons. The only fresh fruit available was grapefruit. The fresh products offered did not look very fresh. Limes and onions were starting to go bad. This is a small gas station that is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Unfortunately, it is closed on Sundays. There are no healthy eating promotion ads, however, there are more than 3 tobacco ads inside the store. Tobacco ads were also very noticeable outside of the store. Candies, sugary drinks, cigarettes, and alcohol were all available. Fruits and vegetables and beans were only available in canned form. Milk was not available. Fresh fruits were also not available. Circle K is a convenience store located on Boulder Highway. They are open 24/7. The store consists of in-store tobacco ads, a working EBT terminal, an ATM machine, but no healthy eating promotion ads. Most of the Frost items were available except for frozen/fresh fish, vegetables of any kind, rice, high-fiber pasta, dried beans, oatmeal, and tofu. The only fresh fruits available were only apples and bananas. Walking down Boulder Highway, we were surprised that for the most part, there was no sidewalk. For a small portion near the RTC bus stop, there was a cement sidewalk. There was a dirt trail that was used as a sidewalk next to a small grassy area lined by trees. There also was a bike lane. However, it was in need of paint. We didn't see anyone using it as cars flew by on the road. The area had a large vacant lot with a lot of trash. It was being listed as a potential housing area. The area had a few business buildings that were either not in use or vandalized. The street was very wide, about 6 lanes total. There were marked crosswalks at the intersections, however, the time allotted to cross was very short, being only 20 seconds. In order to make it all the way across, we had to power walk/run. There was an island present in the middle of the intersection for those who possibly couldn't make it all the way. When crossing, we overall felt rushed and not safe at all. This is Boulder Highway and Galleria Drive. I thought this was a good picture of the street because in the middle of the crosswalk, there is a stop that breaks the road. It also raises the concern that if pedestrians do have to wait in the center, what is the safety level and comfort of the pedestrian? This community was across the street from a police station. However, there was no marked crosswalk to cross from Sunset from the station. The sidewalk on Sunset and Ward had no ramp. However, the portion on Ward and Jefferson did. The street was very quiet and clean. We didn't really see any graffiti or vandalism as most homes were inhabited. However, there were at least 2 vacant lots on the street. One was fenced off and the other was not. There was a lot of visible signs of construction going on, and portions of nearby streets were halfway blocked with work equipment. Strengths of the area included having public transit on major roads. Curb sidewalks made it wheelchair accessible. The park was central to the community. And lastly, there was lighting throughout the neighborhood. Weaknesses of the area included a lack of parks and grocery stores. There wasn't a sufficient amount of time at the pedestrian crosswalk. Many vacant lots were present in both residential and commercial areas. It was near the airport, which caused noise pollution. Streets were very wide at 6 lanes, but 3 lanes went in opposite directions. Lastly, trees in between major streets make it difficult to make turns and are dangerous because it can obscure a driver's vision and it could result in a pedestrian being hit trying to cross the street. Recommendations for healthy food neighborhood. Local small convenience stores do not provide quality and fresh food to this neighborhood. There is a great need to accommodate a full-service grocery store in this area. Policies that attract new and healthy food stores should be implemented. Grants and loans that allow new developments of grocery stores in this area should also be taken into consideration. Recommendations for bike lanes. Bike lanes were seen in the neighborhood's major commercial streets. They're all conventional bike lanes that were marked with a white line and ran on the right side of the street in the same direction of traffic. Since many of these major streets have speed limits of about 45 miles per hour, adding buffered bike lanes could be beneficial and bikers would feel safer and bike more often. Possibly adding a bike route from residential areas to the nearby parks and bird viewing area would help get more people active. Recommendations for better communities. In order for this neighborhood to create a sense of community, it is necessary to enhance communication and relationship between neighborhood leaders and businesses. This will allow business to understand the needs of the community and allow for the development of neighborhood identity and commitment. Throughout Boulder Highway, which is the main street that runs along this neighborhood, there is an ample sidewalk. However, it lacks appropriate pedestrian facility design. This sidewalk is ample enough to create a pedestrian zone and an amenity zone as well. Due to the width of Boulder Highway, it is also necessary to increase the walking time for the crosswalk on the street. Also, it is necessary to create more pedestrian crossings along the street with advanced yield and stoplights such as the pedestrian light controlled crossing signal.